Hi everybody, welcome back to the YouTube channel Upcoming Cyclone Updates. Today again we'll delve into the latest weather conditions of United States going on these days. First off, if you're watching the channel for first time and still haven't subscribed, so subscribe now. This will help you getting all the updates with time. Thanks a lot. The current weather pattern across North America is characterized by a highly amplified setup that is leading to starkly contrasting conditions across different regions. At the heart of this pattern is a pronounced warm upper-level high-pressure system situated over the southern plains, particularly affecting areas like Texas and Oklahoma. This high is creating extremely hot conditions, with temperatures soaring into the 110s Fahrenheit in some locations. Such intense heat is typical of a strong ridge, which suppresses cloud formation and traps heat near the surface. The persistence of this ridge has led to a prolonged heatwave, straining local infrastructure, increasing energy demands, and posing serious health risks to the population, especially vulnerable groups like the elderly and those without adequate cooling. On either side of this ridge, deep and cold upper-level low-pressure systems are creating vastly different weather conditions. To the west, a large upper low is anchored over the Pacific Northwest, driving cool and damp conditions into the region. This system is particularly unusual for this time of year, bringing record low maximum temperatures to parts of California and the surrounding areas. The cool air mass is associated with widespread cloud cover and periods of rain, which are more typical of late fall or winter than late summer. The cool and moist conditions have reduced the wildfire risk in some areas, but gusty winds behind an advancing cold front are creating critical fire weather conditions in parts of the Great Basin, where dry vegetation and strong winds could easily spark and spread fires. In contrast, the eastern U.S. is under the influence of another upper low, which, coupled with a surface high-pressure system, is delivering unseasonably cool weather to the region. Morning temperatures have dipped into the 40s Fahrenheit in some areas, setting record lows for this time of year. The cool air has brought a touch of fall to the mid-Atlantic, central Appalachians, and interior southeast, with some areas even experiencing early morning frost. However, as the high-pressure system at the surface begins to shift off the east coast, a gradual warming trend is expected over the weekend, bringing temperatures back to more seasonable levels. Meanwhile, between the ridge over the southern plains and the upper low near the Pacific Northwest, a deep southwesterly flow is channeling moisture from the Pacific into the Four Corners region. This setup is fueling monsoonal showers and thunderstorms, with a particular focus on early morning severe thunderstorms moving into the central plains. The combination of ample moisture, unstable air, and strong winds aloft is creating an environment conducive to heavy rainfall and flash flooding, particularly in areas with vulnerable geography such as slot canyons and burn scars. These regions are at an increased risk for flash flooding, which can occur rapidly and with little warning, posing a significant threat to life and property. As the upper ridge over the southern plains shifts slightly eastward, the main energy associated with the upper low in the Pacific Northwest will be directed farther north toward the northern high plains. This shift will lead to the formation of a new low-pressure system by Saturday night, bringing cooler air and unsettled weather to parts of the northern plains. The cool air mass from the western U.S. will gradually erode the upper ridge, allowing cooler temperatures to spread into the central plains and eventually moderating the intense heat in Texas and Oklahoma. However, even as the heat begins to subside, heat indices are still expected to reach the upper 90s to mid-100s during the weekend, particularly in areas that remain under the influence of the weakening ridge. The heat is also forecast to expand northward into the central plains, albeit with less intensity than what has been experienced in the southern plains. The large-scale upper low over the Pacific Northwest is forecast to continue dominating the weather pattern in the western U.S., leading to very cool and damp conditions across the region. This system is expected to push even cooler air farther inland over the weekend, extending the unseasonably cool weather into much of the western U.S. by Sunday morning. The persistent cool and moist conditions are in stark contrast to the ongoing heatwave in the southern plains, illustrating the significant variability in weather across North America at this time. In the eastern U.S., the combination of the upper trough and surface high-pressure system is providing a break from the typical heat and humidity of late August. The cool weather is not only a relief from the usual summer conditions but also presents an opportunity for early fall-like activities. However, as the high pressure begins to move offshore, temperatures will gradually rise, bringing a return to more typical late summer weather by the weekend. Despite the warming trend, the eastern U.S. is expected to remain generally dry, with only isolated showers possible as the high pressure gives way to a more unsettled pattern. This complex and highly amplified weather pattern across North America underscores the dynamic nature of the atmosphere and the ability of large-scale systems to produce starkly contrasting weather conditions over relatively short distances. As we move into the weekend, the shifting positions of these upper-level systems will continue to drive changes in the weather, with the potential for continued extremes in temperature, precipitation, and wind. These changes will have significant implications for both short-term weather forecasts and longer-term climate trends, particularly as the atmosphere responds to the evolving balance between warm and cold air masses across the continent. Thanks for watching.